Welcome to Curly Hair Q&A Mondays with Melanie show. I am your host, Ken Nickels, and I'm here with Melanie Nickels. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and she is one of the top curl experts anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products. And this is show number 93. And per usual, it's a pretty busy show. Boy, the last couple of shows have been really busy. So how are you today, Melanie?
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go? Mm-hmm. Ready for a bunch of questions?
Yep.
Should we do any odds and ends stuff, or should we just get into questions? We got lots of questions, and we got, we almost got, I won't call them Ask Me Anything questions, but we got a lot of interesting kind of related questions, but kind of different. Again, I've been getting a lot of those lately.
That's good. Mix it up.
Mix it up. Yes. So anyway, so how was your week at the salon? Any good curly stuff happen? Anything neat?
We always have curly things happen. Yes. We posted most of that stuff, but we had two friends drive over from the other coast that had already
together.
Yep, had curly cuts. They've had the diva cuts. They've had the Vidal cuts, but they had never experienced the raw curls cut. So they came over, and I did one of them, and Terry did the other, and they were super excited. That's what was fun. A lot of times we get women that come in and say, my husband likes my hair long, and you get all this. That's
Right.
pretty common.
Right.
And we're just kind of like, well, what do you like? How do you want to wear your hair? Who cares what your husband thinks? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
Nobody cares what I think.
No, nobody cares what you think. So we just do whatever we want. But actually, this took it to a whole new level. This woman had said, "Oh, my husband has a message for you," and I'm like, "Okay, I know he's, I'm ready for that. He wants your hair long." So she pulls out her phone and puts the phone on. He literally sent me a video with the hand on the hip, shaking the head, and said, "Do not let my wife walk into the house with short hair." I mean, played a live video for me and everything. It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So that was
saw it.
fun. Yeah. So I sent him a video back and was messing with him, but all went well. We kept her hair long.
Did you give her like a bob shaved up the back of the neck and stuff?
Just a little bit. I carved my initials in there. I hope he's all right with that. It's all cool. It'll grow back.
Right. That's a line that everybody wants to hear when they sit in the salon chair, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. So, well, for those of you who are new, welcome. This is the internet's only weekly Q&A for curly and natural hair that's run by professionals, industry people. And you can find us on podcast as well on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and several others that I can't remember off the top of my head. You know what I don't think we're on that I'll have to ask? Rhett, since your mic's on, are we on SoundCloud? Is there a reason we're not? Oh, okay. Somebody asked, and I'm like, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Okay, we can be. We'll see. You can also find us in video form on our video shows. We do this live on Instagram. You guys on Instagram know we're here. On IGTV, you can find the question of the days, which we kind of stopped, but they're still kind of there. Actually, up until, I think they were still going until a day or two ago, but I think they're still there. They're also archived. You can find these shows, and you can find the daily curly hair Q&As on YouTube, on the Raw Curls channel, and we've got another curly hair Q&A channel there. I gotta make sure that's up and running. I haven't looked at it yet, but all the past shows are there. All the daily Q&As, everything's there. The interviews are all there, and you can also watch us live, like a lot of you are now. Watch us live on Facebook in the Curly Girls support group, and we are also live on Twitter at the Raw Hair Organics Twitter page. So. Anyway, so that's it. So
nothing like live.
Yeah.
Just like
so
last week when Murphy decided she needed to go outside when we're filming.
Right. Nothing like live TV, right? Nothing like live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. She decided it's time to.
She wanted that attention.
Done that.
She missed being on the show.
She's done that kind of stuff to us in the past.
So she didn't have her toys this week, so she had to come up with something else.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, so yeah, make sure wherever you're watching us, make sure you like us. Press the like and smash up the likes and the hearts and whatever, because it helps with the algorithms and whatnot. So, all right, let's get into some questions. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is for Melanie. Melanie, I've been embracing my curls and growing them out for almost a year. Thank you for your shows and your groups and all the help you give us girls. I, for one, would have given up long ago without them. Hugs and kisses.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. She hasn't. But I'm having an issue.
Uh-oh.
My curls are now below my chin and my hair rests on my cheeks and neck. And I think it's making me break out a lot. I'm not sure if it's my hair being oily that's causing it, or if it's the hair products I'm using making me sensitive, but that wouldn't make sense, because if it was the case, I'd have zits all over my scalp, right? Please help. Any thoughts?
Yeah, not necessarily. I have seen that before, and just because the skin on your face can be different and react differently than the skin on your scalp. I don't really have the answer to why, but just like, with me getting a little eczema, or, think about having kind of a dry, itchy scalp and your face isn't necessarily itching. Thank God. So, I don't know the whys, but it is possible that it can be from the products and from the oils in your hair for sure. Ken will testify to this. I don't let anyone touch my face.
Nope. Nope.
I don't mind. I mean, I wore the shirt for fun, you can't touch my hair. I don't mind. Touch my hair all you want, but don't touch my face. So I need that t-shirt. No, you can't touch my face, because That'll freak
be
out.
Next.
I will freak
You'll
out.
see those for sale on Black Friday, by the way, just so you guys know.
Yeah. Evelyn was wearing hers. It's so fun. And there was someone else that I just said, because we were talking about that this week. The girl that I posted the pictures of who's moving, and I said I did a farewell haircut on her. She was horrified by people coming up and wanting to touch her hair, and I was just laughing, because I said, "Oh, we get that all the time." We were just having a whole conversation. I said, "Oh, she needs one of those T-shirts."
Right.
Yeah, like mine. Like I say, I don't really care. You can touch. I don't care. You can touch my hair. That should be my shirt.
Don't touch my face. So what was the answer to her question?
So the answer is it could be from just the oils in your hair. Absolutely. Because, now it's resting against your face. Try pulling it back, either with a headband or styling it back maybe, or with a clip or something. And, see if that makes a difference. More, I would think it's more from the oils than from the products, but you never know. I have seen both.
Okay. Oh, hopefully that helps. Oh, let's see. Boy, I'm going to dance around some of these questions. I see, you know what? And I know a lot of you guys know I'm not a good dancer. Yeah, I'm not a very strong dancer.
He steps on your feet and he spins in circles.
Oh, I'm not.
You get dizzy.
I'm not good. I know a lot of you know who've watched or listened to the show in the past that, I don't really review the questions, except for I go just a brief thing just to make sure that the way they're sent to me, that they print off right, so I can read them and flow. I mean, that's it. But I don't actually review them. I don't give them to Melanie ahead of time and whatever. So sometimes as she's answering and I look forward, I see stuff that I might have to, I don't know, maybe I got to, I like the idea that, that we're not like, like you watch a lot of these, curly hair people on YouTube and whatever, and you can tell they've practiced their video 14 times and recorded it 14 different times, so everything's perfect. And I kind of like the idea that we just do this whole thing kind of on the fly. I think it's more fun.
Yeah, it's more
even
authentic.
though sometimes it makes us it's more authentic.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, it's not that I'm a total idiot, but sometimes I have to fix stuff because I don't do it ahead of time. Yeah. That being said, it's not
like it's in Chinese.
If you saw, not this next question, but if you saw the one after, if I don't reword this. Anyway, let's do the next one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Melanie, I see women online all the time saying you should only have your curly hair cut, quote unquote, curl by curl, dry and in its natural state. but I could have sworn that I heard you or Ken say in a show that Diva Curl doesn't even teach curl by curl cutting anymore in their training and hasn't for several years. Is this true? Is curl by curl an outdated method of cutting curly hair? I'm confused. That's a really good question. That's an excellent question.
Yes.
What's the answer?
Well, I believe it is true. When I first started and trained with Diva, they did the curl by curl method. And then the second time that I went, and I had already started creating systems of my own according to things that were happening with the hair and, things that I needed to adjust and improve on the system. And then the second certification, when I went back, they started teaching a different method. I think because the curl by curl is more, I want to say, like artistic. That's not really
like a structured system.
It's not a structured system that you can really teach and duplicate as easily. So they did adjust that. And as far as I know, that's what they're still teaching.
Refresh my memory. Was that time when we went to Orlando and I dropped you off at that salon? Is that when that changed? Mm-hmm. That's got to be 5-6 years already.
Yes,
hey?
Yes. It was
That's
right
been a
before. It was right before Lorraine left.
Oh, that whole deal. Yeah.
So, and Dennis De Silva was teaching the class, and so they were taking more like curl groupings, and it was a different technique, but that was also more of an advanced class. So I'm not sure. They totally restructured the way that they're teaching and doing certifications now. So now they have different levels, so there's like 1, 2, and 3. And, so maybe that first one, they're still doing curl by curl. I'm not sure because it's so long ago that I did that. But I do know that the last class, the second certification that I took, they had already changed their system to doing more of a structured curl grouping technique and system.
Now, the last class that you went to like a year or two ago at the Diva Academy in New York, that was more like 4A, 4B, 4C. So I'm assuming you guys didn't even talk about curl by curl, because it was they were teaching that was a whole different deal, right?
Right, correct. That was ultra textured hair, the art of texture. So that was, again, another different technique. And they all have some similarities, but again, it's in another advanced technique for dealing with specifically ultra textured hair.
Okay. Okay.
So what was the second part of that question?
So what was the second part of that question? So is curl by curl an outdated method of cutting curly hair?
Oh, okay. So, I wouldn't say that it's completely outdated. I still do some, I mix up things according to what I need and the type of hair that I'm working on. So you can still do curl by curl. And sometimes if somebody's coming in just for a touch up and I already have that style set in the hair and they're coming back, like, let's say, less than 3 months, or it's not really grown out, or there's no, big problems going on because I've already given them a great curly cut and now they're just coming back for like a tune-up. I tend to do a little bit more, curl by curl at that point. So there's different times where it's still utilized, cutting curl by curl, but I don't think that that's the, full encompassing technique anymore.
Okay. Well, hopefully that answers your question and clears that up. We could go a little bit deeper into that, and on a similar question that I see on Instagram and in a lot of the Facebook groups and a lot of our Facebook groups that I see that I'll address this as this is what I believe. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you will, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll get a different answer if you ask somebody who works for Diva Curl. But something I want to point out is a lot of people, they started with the level system, and a lot of people will ask because they're confused when they're looking for a curl stylist and they see level 1s, level 2s, level 3s, and certified. I'm going to clear that up just a little bit. And again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to be real gentle in this, just because I just want to help people that don't quite understand or confused, and rightfully so.
Okay.
The Deva Certified, that came about recently in maybe the last 2 years, and that came about for a reason. And Deva kind of had to do it. And I am not bashing them when I say this, because I am behind them 100% with what they were trying to do. It just didn't turn out the way they had expected that it would. And I clearly would have easily made the same mistake. What happened was they started training up people, and they wanted to get more stylists trained. And what ended up happening is stylists were going to what we would typically call a look and learn, where they stand around and watch somebody else do curls, correct? That's what you would call it. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of those stylists were doing afterwards is they were coming back and telling people and advertising, hey, I'm a Deva stylist. And then people would go to them and get maybe not what they expected, mm-hmm. or in some cases get outright butchered, because they really weren't trained, but they were telling people that.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
It was a
between,
big difference.
Just watching and actually doing hands-on.
Or doing hands-on for years and years and years, mm-hmm. of being a practitioner. So Deva realized this, and it became a problem. And so what they did about 2 years ago is they decided to institute a new level beyond level 3 and call it Deva Certified. And what they were really trying to do is they were trying to kind of bridge that, cover up that gap there's just a wide gap between people who were look and learns and people who they believed were really trained stylists. Like I said, it was a complete accident the way it happened for them. No way did they do it on purpose. And I feel bad for them, because I know as a manufacturer, I know what they were trying to do. So my point in this is a lot of people I've seen talk about in the groups and on Instagram, and they'll say, well, I'm not going to a level 3. I'm only going to a Deva Certified stylist. And I personally don't believe that they're really, especially for stylists who have been curl stylists and trained through their system for a number of years, I don't really believe that there's a difference at all, or maybe minuscule. The reason that they came about with the Deva Certified was to correct that problem of the lower end. So if it was me, I wouldn't look at someone who's Deva Certified and a level 3 and pick the Deva Certified just because it says Deva Certified. That's my thought on it. It was basically them as a company trying to create trying to repair a problem that they never meant to create. Is that a good way to put that?
Yeah, I guess so, because I'm one of those that is not, I didn't go through that certification. I'm an advanced stylist for Deva, because they started that.
And you've been art of texture, which the majority of people haven't.
But because they started it right after I just did the advanced training, and it's like, right. Okay, now, am I going to pay? It's a lot of money to go to these classes. You got to fly to New York. And you got to fly to New York.
You got to stay in a hotel.
Class itself is
in Manhattan.
Very expensive. So
it's really nice there, though. I like
it. And I feel it was just, the only thing different was that I was going to be taking a test and, getting another certificate. So I do, think that is true. Now, it's knowing the new products and all those things. I don't know if they make you, there's usually a commitment, to selling the products and carrying them. But anyway, mostly it was just now, taking an exam, a final, and they tested, and even in the advanced class, they came through, and they were, making you show the instructors, Dennis D. Silva, and his assistants, the techniques that you were doing. It's not like, they had to approve you or help you if you were struggling in, the techniques that were taught. So yeah, I just for myself didn't see the advantage or the point of, now turning around and going back and going again just to get a certification.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
it
there's
wasn't
some truth
cheap.
to
I want
that.
to say last time we went up for a class, the two of us went together. We were up there in Manhattan for
thousands
3
of
days. It was
dollars.
a few $1,000.
Yeah. So
It's not cheap to, it's not cheap. If you live there, maybe it is a little bit less, but
anyway.
Okay. So that's that. Just wanted to touch on that. Okay. Ooh, next question. There's actually two of them for me. Okay. Ken, are you guys planning on accepting Bitcoin on your website anytime soon?
Oh my gosh.
Boy, is that an interesting question. The answer is no,
because
but
it's
yes.
not worth anything.
It's no, but yes. No, it's no, but yes. So no, we're not going to be accepting Bitcoin anytime soon on the website. However, and the reason is because that cryptocurrency isn't the best currency for daily use. There's other coins that are much better for daily use. Now, right now, what's happening with Starbucks and Amazon. Starbucks and Amazon, I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but right now they are both looking at the same platform and the same coin to put together a system that would work for very easily and simply for daily transactions. And from what I understand, they're very close. That's what I've been hearing. When Amazon and Starbucks implement that system, and I guarantee they're going to do it together because they're both going to sink or swim. That's what they're looking at because they're both giant companies. Once they do it, I'm going to wait probably a good 30 days to see how it plays out. My guess is they'll have run beta test after beta test before they even do it. But if it goes smooth, then then I'm going to do it. But it's going to be a different coin. It's not going to be Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin
How could
Cash.
we accept Bitcoin? We don't even.
It's a lot. It's too hard to explain.
Yeah,
but it's simple. It's better than cash and faster.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I don't know about that.
So to answer your question, right? When Amazon and Starbucks implement that system, that platform, and they get through it and it's flawless, then yeah. Because what's going to happen is once they do it, everybody's going to do it. Everybody's going to follow it, and they're all going to use the same platform. I won't go into a whole lot of details, but there's some of the biggest banks in the world are behind funding how that platform works, and there's a reason. So anyway, okay, so that answers that. Maybe Bitcoin Cash because it's different. Okay, here's another good one. Ken, have you considered using CBD oil in any of your raw curls products? If so, when? If not, why not? I think it would be great. I would appreciate your thoughts on it. Do you want me to go through this since it was addressed to me?
Well, I mean,
I can.
I've been talking about this for a long time now, probably a year or more.
More than that.
Yeah. So we've been tossing that idea around. I've been talking to Ken about it. I wanted to, I actually did want to do that, but we just haven't yet. Why, Ken?
I'm not real thrilled about the idea for a couple of reasons. One of them is when you manufacture hair products, I mean any product, it's not so easy as to just say, hey, why don't you add some blank, blank, blank to it? And you add blank, blank, blank to it, and ta-da, that's really not how it goes. When we first created the original Raw Curls line, we went through tons and tons and tons of beta testing of a little of this and a little of that. Do you remember those days? Mm-hmm. Just add a little bit of this and all of a sudden it you'd think it would be nothing. You think it's this great, whatever oil or ingredient or flour, whatever the hell it was. And you'd think, that, it's just because that ingredient is wonderful that it's going to make everything else wonderful. And it could completely change the structure of it. Remember those days? God, that was awful. And then you'd be back to square one and it'd be terrible. And we went through that. So that's the number one thing. So if I'm looking at, we have total right now, I think of everything. We've got, I don't know, like 89 different SKUs in all our different lines.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And going through the R&D is just, to me, is just like, for what?
Our chemists need to really, and we are actually a full disclosure and honest company. Like, we do put everything
We're
on
like the
our
only
labels.
ones. We're like the
We don't
only ones that
hide
do on the
ingredients,
website.
So, but we have to find out the true effectiveness of putting some CBD oil in a product, because at where on the ingredient list, at what point is it going to actually be effective? Do you have to have a lot of it? Because it's topical. So, I believe the CBD can help, definitely sublingually, taking orally. But, how effective is it to just put a couple drops in a hair product? I'm not so sure. So, we've been talking about that. We've been discussing it. Because, mixed with everything else, is it going to have any benefit other than just cool marketing, So, because it is, a thing. And so, we're researching. We're in the research phase.
And that's kind of it. If it's up to me, unless there's some significant benefit that is clear, I really don't want to go through it. And I could, if anything, I could, because I've got a friend, a longtime friend, who is one of the managers for I believe they're the biggest oil producer in the country of this. She was in this years ago before anybody else was. And she never presses me about this, ever. She never, ever presses me and says, hey, Ken, why aren't you putting that in your products? So that makes me wonder. If she's not pushing me,
right?
Why?
Because I think you're going to get the best benefit using it full strength. Either, like I say, there's oils that you can put on directly on your skin, or take it orally. To put a little bit mixed in with all the other ingredients that you have in a product. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of placating just to be able to say, put CBD on the label. Like, I know a lot of, I'm already starting to see it, and I'm just not going that way. I'll throw another thing out there, and I don't want to go too deep in this, because we really could, but I won't. I know a lot of you guys know we've got a nutritional supplement, a green juice powder line coming out Black Friday, right? And one of the reasons that I actually finally decided to do that, I said for like 10 years I wouldn't do it. And one of the reasons I finally did it is I was getting them in my Facebook and Instagram feed all the time, these 2 or 3 different brands all the time, these green juice powder. And, it's these big ripped up beef guys, and they're listing off all this stuff on them. And then I go to look at the labels, and they're talking about how, ooh, this is wonderful and that ingredient's wonderful and whatever. And knowing what I know from my, 4-year cancer battle again and again, and doing Chinese medicine and a lot of non-traditional medicine, I knew how important percentages were, to be effective. And I started looking at some of these labels, and I realized, I'm like, they're just throwing stuff in these things. These guys don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're just throwing stuff into these things just so they can be able to say, I got ashwagandha, or whatever the heck, and, and that's kind of why, if you look at my label, I've got like 10 things in it, and that's it. Right. But they're ratioed in a certain way for a certain reason. Again, I don't want to get too far into that, because I don't want to be sales pitchy. But I'm trying to make the point of, that's what I see a lot in that space, in the nutritional supplement space, is companies throwing, everything in it because this is good and that's good and this is good, whatever. And it's like, well, how do you know for who, and how does this work with what at what percentage? And I see the same thing with CBD oil. I don't. Too many unknowns, I think, at this point to mess with it.
Well, and the first thing that I was talking about adding it to would be in our men's line, and that was our muscle rub. So, that may be.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We did talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that would be the first line that we would experiment with.
That'd be the one that would show. Yeah. That you'd be able to say, yeah, this makes a difference.
But, then again, it's like, you might as well just, if you're going nutritional, then you might as well have just a CBD oil.
Right. So. I don't know. I hope that answers your question. I I don't know. Like I said, somebody'd have to be able to show me, hey, there's a significant benefit to whatever product it would be, and that, you know, and that it wouldn't turn into this thing where, you know, I go through 80 cycles of R&D, you know, trying to get it to work.
Did you smoke marijuana when you went through cancer?
Nope.
Did you take?
Never. Nope.
Did you take, what is it? Well, I guess they just call it cannabis.
Nope, never. They never gave it to me.
Yeah, they did. They prescribed it for you, but you didn't take it.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't take it.
Yeah, but, you know.
That's right. No, I didn't.
They prescribe it for
took
cancer patients for nausea. It helps with nausea.
Yeah. No, and they didn't give it to me. I forget if they
did
prescribe.
What's that? Yeah, now there's a lot. Now there's a lot more that they're using it for, but this is a long time ago. But yeah, definitely back in the day it was used for nausea and
boy, was I nauseous that last time. Hey, oh my God!
Yeah.
Remember they had to do that stuff and I had to carry that bag around.
Yeah,
it was awful. You want to talk about sick? I was sick all the time until they gave me that old school fanny pack. I had to carry a fanny pack for months.
You know, uses for pain and all. I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. But anyway, so do we have any other questions?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
let's get off of that. I told you lots of good, interesting stuff. I think we'll just skip that. That one's too closely related. Okay, Melanie, are you coming to California this summer? Dying over here, just to let you know. I'm sick of my hair. So over it all.
Oh, boy. Well, you know, we've actually tried to make a trip to California for like the last 2 or 3 summers because I have a client who invited us to the San Diego area. So, my God, I don't know. Maybe
beautiful house overlooking the water.
Yeah, maybe we can coordinate this summer.
Yeah, I might have to.
We'll let you know.
I know. You know, in a couple of the groups I had posted that, somebody had sent me that link a couple of days ago about that Aveda concept salon now in a mobile. We've been talking about doing this RV conversion thing for a long time, long before anybody else started doing it. Yeah, my background 20 some years ago is, you know, I was in the racing circuits for a long time, and guys were converting really nice haulers for years, and I'd always looked at them like, this would be perfect for a salon. And just recently, last couple of years, you started seeing people doing it right. I mean, really doing it right.
That's when you had your mullet.
That's when I had my mullet. It wasn't a mullet. It was fashionable at the time.
It was a mullet.
Malay. I like that better. It's French. Okay, Melanie, in the fall, I love to sit by the campfire or fire pit at night, but my curls pick up the smell of the smoke and I can't seem to get rid of it when refreshing. Any suggestions?
I know. I love sitting by the fire. There's something about that that's just kind of relaxing and magical or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have any tricks for that. When I experienced the same thing. I hate happened to me today, having to walk in the front door of a business and people are outside smoking cigarettes because it's like, oh man, my hair is going to smell like cigarettes, you know. And definitely when I was at my mom's this summer and burning her 9 years of documents that she was storing for some ungodly reason, I had to have a bonfire to burn all these documents. So I was sitting there poking the flames and, you know, standing, avoiding the ashes and hoping my hair wasn't going to go up in flames. But yeah, and then you just stink like the fire.
She lives in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way up in the mountains.
Yeah, way up in the mountains. So I don't have the answer to that. There are curl refreshers or sprays that you can put in. You know, is it enough to get rid of that? Probably not. You know, unfortunately, you're probably just going to have to rewash, because I know when I was there, my hair smelled like that for probably 3 days. Really? Yeah. Wow. Well, I didn't wash it right away. And then but when I did go to wash, it was like, you know, I guess you kind of get used to it. And then when I did go to wash it, I was like, ooh, it smells like the campfire. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. If we come up with something, I'll let you know. Or if you do, let me know.
You know what? I saw this. We have a curly hair 911 emergency.
Uh-oh. I don't have my curl doctor uniform on.
You don't have your curl doctor uniform on. Uh-oh. Well, actually, in the car, you might have your stethoscope.
No, I took it out. I took it out.
Well, this is a legit.
We did
this
have, I
is
had
a
like,
legit.
I seriously had hair emergencies coming in all day on Halloween because I was dressed like the hair doctor. And that's what I was saying. What's your emergency? 911, you know, and we did. I had hair emergencies come in that day.
This is.
I shared one of the videos.
Well, this is one that came in tonight. So.
Well, let's hear it.
You're gonna hate this. My daughter has 3C, 4A curls, is biracial, and came home from school today with lice.
Ooh, that is a hair emergency.
Please tell me what to do.
Ugh. Well, you know, there are treatments for that, but
is that tougher with 3C, 4A curls? Does that make it harder?
Yeah, because those little suckers can hide in there. It's going to be tough to, because they, you know, they recommend that you comb through the hair with those like little wire combs like we have for the dogs, like
yeah,
for the
for the dogs, yeah.
Ugh. But what is recommended? There's so many different treatments for that now, but basically like using, there's neem oil is really good for that.
Neem works, yeah.
Yeah, and there's different oils. Even I believe it's coconut. Ooh, gosh, off the top of my head, it's either coconut or olive, but different oils that you can put on the hair to basically suffocate them, but you still got to kind of comb through and get the eggs and the live bugs. Hopefully they die off, but the bugs out of there, and the eggs, you got to make sure you get the eggs so they don't hatch. So yeah, that's going to be a nightmare with that kind of hair.
Now, is this an old wives' tale? I swear, as a kid, I remember somebody in my neighborhood getting them, and their parents washing them in the garage with gasoline or kerosene.
Oh God. Well, yeah, not
legit?
recommended.
Would it work?
No, I'm not. No,
I'm just asking.
That's crazy. What kind of, yeah, it was probably your psycho neighborhoods or
well,
neighbors that lived down the street who was a serial killer. Oh my God. No.
No, it was the other direction.
Do not do that.
It was the other direction.
But there's lots of different, oh gosh, I had, luckily I haven't had to deal with
that. That is a true story though. I had forgot about that.
Yeah. I didn't
I actually grew up a couple of blocks down.
You forgot about Sharon too.
From a cereal. I forgot about Sharon too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, it was one of your crazy friends down the street.
His sister was my friend.
I thought you said they didn't come out.
They didn't come out much. Anybody. No, they had a perfectly manicured lawn and house, just beautiful.
Weird.
Never came out.
Creepy. So yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. But look into it. There's new products out. I've seen some. Oh, that was at the hair show. They had they actually had like a rubber band, like a hair band that was to prevent lice. So that won't help. But anyway, they're mostly just like oils and stuff that you can put on the hair to help suffocate it. But I know neem is a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck.
Ooh,
good luck.
Let us know how that works out. And then you have to like wash everything in the house. Oh gosh,
right.
Yeah.
Here's another kid question. What is the best method to get rid of cradle cap? I almost said cradle crap because it's like curl crap.
Yeah, you said that. You've said that before.
Yeah. What's the best method to get rid of it? Cradle cap.
Cradle cap.
Why don't you tell us what it is? What is it?
Oh, well, it's on babies. I'm not really that super familiar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. It's like a dry scalp on the babies. And I'm not sure, actually, I'd have to do some more research on what causes that. I forget if that's, again, like something that is related to like a fungus. Yeah, I can't quite remember because I don't have kids, so I've not dealt with that one. But I believe, putting the oils, certain healing oils on there as well helps. Probably, I believe like tea tree oil because that's antibacterial. So again, there's different natural remedies that you can use for that. But yeah, fortunately, I really haven't had a whole lot of experience with it.
Okay.
It's basically like dry, crusty scalp.
Yeah.
But again, so some of that sometimes can be caused from like yeast.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the case in babies or not. Maybe someone who is more of a baby expert can, put up some information about that.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll have one of our people research it. And
yeah. Or I can get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
But
we only have a million people that could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett, how are we doing on time? We got time for a couple more questions? We run a little. Good. We can do a couple more. Okay. Melanie, how can I tell if my hair is dry when diffusing? Mine feels dry and crispy, but as soon as I start to scrunch out the crunch, it feels ever so slightly damp again.
Dry and crunchy. That's not what I think of when when the curls are dry. I think of them being dry and soft. You actually like scrunch out any of that crunch or cast that's in the hair. So, but if it's just, I actually leave my hair slightly damp because I don't want to over dry it. I feel like if you over dry, then you get the chance of, frizzing up, and then you got a problem. So I would prefer to have it just slightly damp than to be over dried. But there really is no way other than just feeling the hair. Sometimes your hand gets hot. I know this by working in the salon behind the chair every day. It happens to me when I'm working on clients. Your hand gets so hot, like you really can't feel the hair anymore. So sometimes just to turn off the dryer and let your hand cool down, take a step away for it and feel the hair. And then you can go back in if it's too wet for you, how you don't want it to be, then continue to diffuse or dry it a little bit more. But basically, yeah, you're just going to have to do it by feel. There's no like temperature gauge or something.
Okay. Okay. Here's another one about diffusing. Every stylist I've ever seen pushes the diffuser on me. I don't like the feeling of heat, and it's a cause for migraines, so I would really much rather air dry. Do I absolutely have to diffuse when going natural? The quote-unquote professionals I've seen seem to tell me yes.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. No, she's not. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's not necessary. You can totally air dry. So I have not heard of professionals pushing diffusing on people. That seems like crazy to me. I don't know what her reason is that it's causing headaches. That's interesting, but no,
It could be just having the heat on her head. Who knows?
Yeah, whatever. You don't have to. It's your hair air drying. Tons of our clients air dry. And
depending on porosity is going to tell you, and products you use is going to tell you how long it's going to take to dry.
Yeah. But there's no reason that you have to diffuse, absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What else can we do here? Melanie, do you have any advice for fine, high porosity hair in the wintertime when it goes flat and stringy from lack of moisture in the air?
Yes, I would use a light leave-in, like a light spray, to help give that extra moisture but not weigh the hair down. So that would be good for that fine, high porosity hair.
Okay.
You can also do some conditioning treatments. Those are great. It always helps to do some treatments when the hair gets drier, when the weather gets drier. You're just like you tend to put more lotion on your hands or heavier creams, then it's time to do some conditioning treatments. And so those will be beneficial as well.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Melanie, I find it really hard to grow my hair. What's the best way and best hair products to help keep my hair healthy and allow it to grow?
Well, the best way, and I know people don't love hearing this, but it's still important to get little trims, just cutting off those dead ends. And I mean, literally I call it dusting those ends. It really is helpful for whatever reason. Then your hair's not splitting and it just keeps it healthier, looking and feeling. And product wise, gosh, there's so many. Of course, I'm going to name Raw Curls because they keep the hair healthy and nourished with all of the good oils and ingredients that we have in ours, and nothing that's drying and stripping. But there's lots of them out there. Just any great products without I will say the curly girl friendly products, without the silicones, without the alcohols, and then parabens and all that gets into different things, but nothing that's going to dry out the hair, strip it, or break it down. You want to keep it healthy and moisturized and nourished as you're growing it. Taking supplements like biotin or folic acid, or just those hair, skin, and nail supplements, collagen, silica. Those are all things that help. Some people are really finding castor oil to be beneficial. So, there's lots of additional things that you can do to keep your hair in a healthy state. And then we also have talked about the hair growth product that we use in the salon, which is the Xenogen line. So there are actual hair growth products out there. But again, depending on your curl type, a lot of times the hair tends to grow out instead of down. So then even not only getting just little trims, but the way that we do the raw curls haircut is beneficial because it helps to elongate those curls and help release some of that when we go in and sculpt, where that hair wants to compact in those tighter, curlier hair curl types. So it helps to actually loosen that up. You could even, everyone hates, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but there's, controversy about the keratin treatments, but that can be beneficial because it can actually just help to relax or loosen that curl a little bit if you want. We have control of whether it doesn't change the curl at all, and it just positions the hair and controls the frizz, or if we do want to reduce that curl tension a little bit, we have the control of doing that without damaging it.
Something I wanted to point out quick. We're gonna rattle through a couple of quick questions just so we can wrap up. I know we went a little bit long today, but but it's worth it because we had a lot to talk about, so it's all right. I wanted to point this out because we were talking about smoke and curly hair and smoking and curly hair and whatever.
Yeah, that was a theme. Marijuana, smoking.
Yes, right.
Geez,
Interesting thing about that. On our podcast, on our Curly Hair Q&A podcast, maybe a couple of months ago, we did a show where we talked about that, about curly hair and smoking and whatever. And that podcast, believe it or not, ranked in the top 50% of all podcasts for that week. Think about that. That's all podcasts on any subject. Yeah. So I guess a lot of people are interested. Or we got a lot of curly girls that smoke or hang up by the fire. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I just thought I'd point that out because I literally just saw that this week and I thought about it. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can tell you that smoking dehydrates the hair, dehydrates the skin, it dehydrates the hair. And all of my clients that smoke, when they come in, their hair is very dry. So just FYI, yep, that is a definite.
Okay. Okay, Melanie, I've only been doing Curly Girl for 5 days. How long should I wait before getting a Curly Girl haircut? Thanks.
Why wait?
Why wait? Okay, good. Next question. Oh boy, got some good ones. I want to get a couple of them. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, I'm a newbie and have no idea where to start. My hair is lacking shape and my curls are looking sad. So dry, frizzy, and damaged looking. Do you start this journey with a good haircut by ridding the damaged hair, or can you start without first getting a haircut?
Well, you can start, just using the proper products. That's definitely helpful. And, it's not mandatory that you get a haircut, but it sure can help along the way, especially if you're struggling, and especially if you do have, dry, damaged hair or, any issues going on. It's only going to help it to look better.
Okay. And let's wrap it up with the last question.
Okay.
It's a short question. Let's see how long the answer is. Let's see how much time Melanie wants to kill.
Am I answering or you?
You are. I'm not answering this one. Weed Ad cut or Diva cut?
Raw curls cut.
And there you have it. Should we just wrap it up? Do you want to get into that? I mean, we've been going a while. Maybe we should save that and we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that next week.
Well, that would have been great to talk about with Chadwick, but that didn't get set up.
Yeah,
so.
we'll talk about this next week. You watch. Let's leave that one.
Yeah,
it's
to be continued.
Question. Yeah. Here, to be continued. Right. Let's just do that anyway. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, Monday. I don't know if we'll have a show this Thursday or not. Probably not. But we'll see you next week, Monday. Get your questions in early, wherever you consume our content. IGTV, Instagram at Raw Curls, YouTube at the Raw Curls YouTube channel. You can put them there. And I'm going to have another YouTube channel for you that's going to have all kinds of good curly stuff. I'll tell you about that next week, Monday. And I think that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else for us?
Next week is our anniversary show.
Oh, that's right. Next week is our anniversary. It's not the show's anniversary show. It's our anniversary show. So, yeah. So we'll tell you what we did on our anniversary. I'll bet you can probably guess. If you watch this long enough, you can probably guess.
Yeah, that's going to be real hard to figure out.
It's going to be real hard.
Don't think too much.
Yeah, don't think too hard. Yeah, don't think too deep about it. But anyway, okay. All right, so that's it. We'll wrap it up.
Curly week.
Yeah, have a great curly week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.